What's up, Rangers? Welcome to the Chest. My name's Steve, and today we are repainting a Skullcrawler. I was actually planning on doing this, but I had a commission sent in, so I'm going to use his as essentially my base, and then maybe I'll go back over mine here in the future. But what this is the Playmates Skullcrawler. Nothing too much else to really say. We're doing this in the style of the Skull Island version, which I noticed the tail's technically not right for a Skull Island. I think one thing, if I was going to do it, I might like customize mine. Like I had some like epoxy stuff and fill in the gaps, because that'd be kind of another reason to do another video. Kicking my lights. But for this one, we're just repainting. So we repaint, and then I might come back and add some more flares and stuff later when I get around to doing mine. Because I did buy an extra one to do one. First and foremost, I was planning on airbrushing this, but I think because I gotta do so many layers of dry brushing anyways that it probably doesn't matter. Pretty sure I can just go over this with gray paint and call it a day. Mainly what I'm gonna be using is like a pewter gray. I got a lighter granite gray just in case. We'll probably use some of that for dry brushing. Same with some pale yellow. We got some browns, and I might end up mixing up some stuff. The eyes, got some gloss yellow and black. I got some red here for reasons. Got some ivory for the head, and that's where mainly some of the browns are going to be coming into play too. Because for some of like the crevices and detailing, there'll be a little bit of browns. And then for the most part, should be pretty much about it. So I'm just going to start brushing and see what happens. If I gotta go back to airbrushing, I will let you know. Alright, sorry I did a little brushing. Changed my mind. We're gonna airbrush this first. Alright, one thing I want to bring up before I get to airbrushing with this is you might be asking me why I'm not using a spray primer. Just like with the Jurassic Park toys, I have had horrible like spray primer. So I kind of just use the acrylic and just make layers until it's pretty much gone away. Because anytime I've ever had these bits that are flexible with the plastic, any kind of primer I've used never like secure, and I think it's because of the material. Since it's flexible, and generally speaking the paint and the primer is not meant to be flexible, it just doesn't want to cure, so it just always stays tacky. So you're kind of stuck going the acrylic route, unless you want to actually get like super fancy with some like flexible paints. But from doing the dinosaur toys and stuff like this has worked really well for me. And as long as you seal it properly, you shouldn't have to worry about anything really flaking off and stuff. So anyways, got my paint all mixed up to go on my airbrush. So now it's just spraying it on. So he's all primer. I even put some clear on him. He's still scraping the paint up a little bit on the joints, which is just going to be a thing. Because even with the mouth, well, thankfully that's staying on at least, so that's cool. It's mainly I'm just having issues with the inner part of the joint, but I might just mess around with that too more once I get everything painted. Because it seems like it's doing alright when it's holding a pose, but it's like kind of coming off. Like right here, I'm still having an issue. But anyways, next, we're going to be putting my cat back on here so this doesn't go bad. Now we're just going to be adding all the paint to it, so I'm just going to let the camera run. I'm just going to go over it. Head, like I said, is going to be ivory and some browns. debating on going over it with the brown pretty hard and then dry brushing the ivory over top to get my coloring that I want. Thinking that's probably the way I'm going to go. And then the rest of this is just going to be adding dry brush, dry brush, dry brush, dry brush. quick, I just want to show you guys a little trick that I've come to learn. If you want to paint joints and you want to try to save the paint that's on them, what you're going to need is these little cheap brushes. You can get big old bag for, I think it was like $1.50, because you're going to go through quite a few of these. And what I'm doing here is actually putting some super glue on top of it. Specifically Loctite super glue. All I'm doing is on a little piece of wood, I just make some dollops, put it on my brush, and then I'm just kind of brushing it on, trying not to make sure I get into the joints. And what this does is it gives it a nice little thick clear over top of the joints. And to be honest, like, God, I wish I knew who it's been a minute since I've seen somebody do a tutorial on it. But as you guys can see, the paint ain't coming off, which is what I want, because it'll start trying to rip up the glue, and because the glue's hard, it's not going to want to. So these parts here, you'll see the paint's already kind of come off. So I'm just going back over these with my brush. Just covering back up. Thankfully on my under section, I don't have to do quite as much redetailing. It's mainly I'm just trying to save the coloring on the joints so it sort of matches better than what I originally did. Then I take my hairdryer. Dry it up real quick. Now the problem is every time you stop brushing, this is going to be as hard as a rock every time. Right now it's still got a little bit of play, so I'm going to just keep going, but just taking a little dollop of the glue and just covering the joint. I try to just get enough to just so there's a little bit of shine, and there will be a bit of a shine when you're done. But you should be able to knock that down a bit with like a matte finish. Should hopefully get rid of that. And I'm just putting it everywhere that there might be contact with the plastic at some point. Because like I said, I still kind of want this to be able to pose but not look stupid. So spritz, spritz. Give it a couple seconds. It's not rubbing the paint off. If anything, it actually kind of helps the joint a little bit because now there's a smooth texture over top of it instead of rough paint. And you also see too on the arms, it's not removing any of the stuff that I painted on either. So now we get full posability, and you're not going to really lose your paint. So I think that's really about all I got. I got to touch up the head just a little bit here because the underjaw I didn't really have to do much to. I also did the end of the tail here, which doesn't really have much paint on it, but still wanted to try to save as much as I can. I might do the same under here. I probably don't care enough. I don't think that's going to come off because from what I could tell, it's not ripping off. So I'm just going to clear coat this entire thing and then pretty much set. But like I said, I just got to go around and just make sure I clean up the skull just around the edges, and that's about where I'm at. And here we have the finished Skullcrawler, and just show you guys some of the closer details for the head. Had to go over it a little bit in some areas just to kind of harden the edges on the sides here just to make it look a little more skull-like. Same with on this side here too. We got the eyeballs, which are done with glossy yellow and black. Same with the inside. Went over that with a clear Mod Podge just to give it a little bit of an extra shine to it. Did want to kind of try to make a tongue. That might be an extra something for a later video. Because I kind of want to, when I go to do mine, I'll probably do another video like this, but we're going to do some different stuff. Because I kind of want to have it like having a little display. So that'll be fun. But you can see here on the sides here, I noticed looking at her in shots of the film, she has a little bit more of like a bone color going on the side here. But there's also like browns and some yellows mixed in. So you'll definitely see there's some different colors in here. Because there's the yellow, a little bit of like the sand yellow, there's grays, a little bit of browns here and there. The nails, I've done in a black to kind of make it look more like bird claws. Which I do a lot with the dinosaur figures. And then just a little bit of gray over top of the knuckles, which is the same thing with the movie. She looks like she had a little bit more detailing on the top here. For the body here is primarily dark gray with a lighter gray dry brushing with some more browns kind of speckled in here and there as well, just to give it a little bit more coloring.
The top of the spines are done the same way I did the face, with just some dry brushing with some browns, yellows, grays. And then only comes down about here on the back. And then we got the tail here, which is just mostly the rest of the same with the color. Under section of the body, you can see a lot more of the browns. Decided not to do as much of the gray down here because you can see in the film she has a little bit more of a like a two-tone body. So kept it a little bit darker on the undersection. Same with on the under bits of the arms. And behind the arms, just got a little bit more grays going on with them. But yeah, pretty pleased with it. Also found out a little trick to help save the joints here, where you use some super glue and some accelerant, and it helps to keep the coloring on the joints. Then when you put your sealer on, it helps to get rid of the shine. Did the same thing on the top here too, so that she can move her arms up and down without really scraping the paint off, which is nice. Especially on the elbows here, because you have that the whatever this color is, like the white, blacks, and grays. I can't think right now. But you can see here, she's moving up and down. Doesn't really remove it. If you go a little bit too far, doesn't have quite those coloring, but it's kind of like I wanted to have it at one set point. And then you can still rotate the top here too, and it's not gonna rip off the paint here. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the Skullcrawler. Oh yeah, also I decided to gore up the inside a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I don't imagine going to be having it displayed like this on the shelf, but want to make it a little bit more funner if they decide to want to do photos or something. But anyways, super happy with it. Hopefully it'll be enjoying beating up on some Colin figures. But anyways, help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook, guys who like to keep up with the day with the channel and donate. We really appreciate it. And if you guys want to get a hold of me about getting a commission done yourself, just link in the description for my Instagram, easiest way to get a hold of me, or our Facebook page. And see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.